Welcome to FinTech Frontiers, the podcast that delves into what's going on in the fintech world, one founder at a time. So today I am very excited to welcome Alex Edquist, CEO of Good Agriculture, onto the show. And I'm doubly excited to be here in person with you. Alex, welcome.
Thank you.
This is actually the first episode that we've done face-to-face, so that's
Wow.
a new departure.
All right.
So that's great. Look, let's dive in. I wanted to ask you, Good Agriculture, can you tell me what was really the big problem that you spotted in the market, and what made you want to dive in and solve that?
Yeah. So this was really just one of those problems where, like, the deeper I got into it, the more I realized there was a bigger problem there. But it really started when I was in college. I had some chronic health issues that I resolved by eating better. So I went deep down the nutrition rabbit hole and found this thing called regenerative agriculture, which is basically where the farmer cultivates the whole ecosystem and, with the goal of making the whole ecosystem healthier.
Super.
Yeah.
Soil health is
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And so, one of the really cool things about this is when the soil and the ecosystem is healthier, the food that comes out of these systems is also a lot healthier.
Right.
So as an example, we have a farmer we work with who he grows regenerative citrus, and he tested his citrus, and his oranges have like 8 times the level of vitamins like the average orange you get in a grocery store.
Wow. And I'd say they taste and look better too.
Exactly.
And maybe sell for more.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, I'm just carrying along, buying direct from these farmers, but I am actually working as a management consultant. So I was at McKinsey for a long time in their AI and analytics practice, helping various, very large organizations with, strategy, talent, operations, transformation, all that kind of good stuff.
Yep.
And so I finally got to a point in my career where I either had to commit to doing it for 10 more years and making a run for partner, or going to do something else. I chose to go do something else.
Okay, a brave choice.
Yeah, well, after that many years of consulting, it felt like the right thing to do.
Right.
And I came straight through from undergrad, and so I'd never really done anything else. And so, the nice thing about consulting is there's a lot of leaving and coming back that happens.
Yes.
So anyway, I was like, all right, let me go explore a different career path, and 2 things had happened. So one, a lot more research was coming out on how regenerative farming is a lot more environmentally beneficial. So there was actually a farm here in Georgia called White Oak Pastures that proved you could have carbon negative beef if you raised your cows the right way in these regenerative systems.
Really?
Yeah, because basically cows are really good at stimulating the grasses and whatnot into absorbing more carbon from the air and putting it in the soil. Yeah. And so you can measure the soil carbon increasing year over year. And the soil carbon increase is more than the cow birth, emissions that happen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And I'm from Ireland, so I'm learning something.
Yeah. And so, but the real kicker is there was also research coming out showing that regenerative farmers could make more money because, they can get a higher price premium, but also because they spend a lot less on inputs. They don't need as much fertilizer, pesticide, that kind of stuff, because their ecosystems are healthier. Yeah. And so me and my naivete was like, the food is healthier, it's better for the environment, and the farmer makes more money. Seems like everybody should be farming this way, but basically no one is. So why is that?
Yes.
So I just went out and started talking to farmers, and I was like, why is this hard? And unsurprisingly, the farmers were like, everything is hard. I am running this whole farm business, and even if I wanted to adopt these regenerative practices, they are more time consuming, and I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, well, I can't help you with the farming anyways because I'm not a farmer, but I can help you with the everything else of running the business.
Yes.
And when I was out talking to farmers, that's when I met my co-founder, who is a farmer.
Great.
And she was like, I can tell you exactly what farmers need help with. And yeah, in addition to being a farmer, she's also a data scientist, which is great.
Helps.
Yes. So we launched Good Agriculture, and basically it started just like a manual services company of let's see if farmers will pay us to kind of outsource this business admin thing for them before we start building any tech around it. And so luckily, again, my co-founder knows a bunch of farmers. We signed like our first 5 to 10 customers, we kind of realized like what things could be automated, and we started building the automation along the way.
Yes.
And we have kind of started with this regenerative farmer who they feel the time pressure the most. And at the beginning, they were the most willing to say, like, I don't care that I've never heard of you guys and you're a brand new startup. Like, I am so desperate for the help.
Yes.
Like, I'm willing to work with you guys anyways.
So they've got long enough days working in the fields, but then they're coming back to face piles of administration and accounting, and then something's getting squeezed out of their lives then, I guess.
Exactly. And so that might be time with family. It might be, things they want to do on the farm, but they don't have time to. Yeah. Honestly, some of them just say, like, I'm not going to do the business admin, and just like, hope it all works out. Yeah. It's a tough thing that they're trying to do, because they're really just small business people and doing everything by themselves.
And I think, like, I know from say other fintechs in the UK that are providing a service to small business, that there are similar problems outside of farming with small business, and that actually some nearly good hygiene around your administration, your accounting and finance, your grant applications, that by doing this, it actually makes it easier for the small businesses to be able to get loans.
Yes,
because they have the data and they have the means to make those applications. Is that a dynamic that plays into your business model as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's actually where we acquire customers as well, because the farmers will come to them and say, hey, I need a loan. Here's my shoebox of receipts. Can I have a loan, please?
Yes.
And the banks will be like, we do not want to deal with your shoebox. Like, go call Good Agriculture. They will set you up.
Yes.
And then we can make you the loan.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that happens in ag.
Well, it makes a ton of sense. And from your point of view, then, so your starting point, maybe we can talk about the journey a little bit. You mentioned that it was initially that you would just do accounting and finance for these farmers. What was can you take me through the progressions from there then? Or
Yeah. So actually our very first service was finding and applying to grants and other funding opportunities.
Yes.
Because when we talked to farmers, that was the number one thing they said. And it was also something we could start, without having to build any software. Just let's compile a list of a bunch of funding opportunities. Let's build this survey farmers can take. We can match them with like this really easy, script matching code. And that was just a good way to get some farmers in the door.
Yes.
And then when we were helping folks apply to these things, the thing that was coming up over and over again was like, I don't have financial statements. I haven't filed my taxes, et cetera, et cetera. And so then it was like, do you want help with that? And the answer was yes.
Yeah.
And because, bookkeeping is something you have to do every month,
it
turned into recurring revenue. And so for us, that's now like the vast majority of what we do.
Great.
Because it's recurring. Yeah.
And similar to loans, then it seems as well that having yourself well organized with your accounts and your statements, that looks like it's important as well if you're applying for grant funding.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say it's less important.
Yes.
Than in loans. And I mean, the other thing that's critical is like most farmers a lot of them are not aware like where they are making and losing money on the farm.
Yes.
Especially because the folks we work with, they tend to be growing a few different things. They have multiple business lines. And so one thing we do that's proven a lot of value to farmers is we'll actually break it out to them of like, here's how much you're making on like beef versus pork versus chicken.
Yeah.
And usually something is losing money and they don't realize it.
Yeah.
So that's
business critical information.
Yeah, exactly.
And does it change the farmer's behavior then, that they can see actually they're losing money doing something? So yeah. And so does that come down to then reorganizing their what they're
oftentimes
doing?
Yes. Yeah. So we actually ran the numbers last year, and because we have the farmers baseline of how much money they were making, and then we had enough customers been working with us for a full year, and the folks who had been working with us, on average for every $1 they had spent on us, they had gotten $15 more profitable. And for half of our farmers, it's exactly what you're describing of we know, like, we could call something out in their P&L and say, like, hey, this is losing money, or you're spending way more on insurance or gas or whatever than other farmers, and the farmer would go take that action, and we'd see it show up on their financials. And then honestly, the other half of farmers, like, I don't even think they open our reports. They just see that, like, hey, we took care of it for them, and then they go back outside and they just reinvest that time in the right spot on the farm, and they make more money. And so, you know, we see both types of impact there.
Fantastic. So an X15 return for them on the subscription cost. Fantastic. And the farming is seasonal by definition. So I think that that farmers have to invest in crops and in diesel and labor to get the crops in the ground. So does good agriculture help them to be able to sort of plan their finances for that cycle? Or
yes, that's one of the features in our financial reporting part of the product, is projecting out what that cash is going to look like over the course of the year, because to your point, it can fluctuate a lot. And what's interesting is, depending on which part of the country you're in and what you're growing, that cash and seasonality can be very different. And so we built it in a way where no matter what you're growing, we can kind of handle what that business is going to look like.
Great.
Yeah, because like our, we have several farmers in places where, they start growing something in the fall and then they harvest it in the spring. And so their crop year does not align with the calendar year. And so we have to be able to show the profitability of that crop versus the profitability of that year, because that could be two different things.
Okay, so they're spanning their two, they might put the investment in one financial year and get the returns in the next, and then that kind of creates some challenges, say, and particularly for somebody who's not, they're a full-time farmer, they're not there. And does it, is it okay? Is it that they would use good agriculture instead of having a bookkeeper, or both?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of farmers either can't afford manual bookkeepers, or what's actually happening a lot today is, in their town, there was one bookkeeper that everyone used, and that person is 70 years old, they're retiring, no one's taking over the business, and so the farmer needs a new solution. It's unfortunately part of just kind of like the rural depopulation we're seeing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And so let's just take a step back then, and maybe you could tell me about, like, how long have you been in this venture, and where are you on that journey? And when I say the journey, I think the journey to market, but also maybe the funding journey and the innovation journey. I'd love to explore those three areas.
Yeah. So we basically started, spring 2023. So we've been doing this about 2.5 years now. And like I said, we started as a just manual services provider, but we've always had this vision of, like, it's going to be an AI agent native platform where to the farmer it feels like a hands-on service. But because AI agents are doing a lot of the work in the background, it is still software scalable. And so what was interesting is, we launched an MVP, we got our first few customers, we had some recurring revenue. We went to go start to raise a pre-seed round, and it was so hard. So it ended up taking us 16 full months to close the pre-seed round. So we started summer 23 and then closed it like beginning of fall 2024.
So you're very determined. And how many pitches did you have to do to close that?
It was probably like 300 or 400. It was probably investors we actually managed to, like, have a meeting with. And what was hard then is we just got put in this bucket of tech-enabled services, which is what we're trying to do. But, again, we said, like, AI agents are going to be able to do this work. Even the pieces they can't do today, like, we know it's coming and we're laying the groundwork and we're securing the farmers. We know the farmers will pay for this. And so what was funny is, so this year we went to go raise a seed round. And it was so much easier. And basically all that pushback we got about like, this is not scalable, we don't do tech-enabled services, like that was just gone.
Great.
Because now AI agents are the hot thing.
Yes.
And so our pitch hasn't changed much.
Yep.
The vision is still the same. The product is a lot more mature and we have more
Yes.
traction and all that.
And you've got reputation in the market.
Exactly.
Brand.
Exactly. I mean, my co-founder and I are both first-time founders. And so we were having to build our networks for the pre-seed round.
Yep.
And so that was hard. But we did notice a significant difference in just how investors were reacting to the business model this time around. That was really interesting.
Yeah, because you had some product out there, you had some ARR, and you were nearly pushing at an open door in the seed round, or I'm sure you probably had to do a few pitches there as well.
Yeah, I mean, fundraising is never easy.
Yeah.
It still took 4 months. We still probably pitched 100-something investors, but we did get multiple term sheets and were able to get it closed faster than we expected, which was,
that is fantastic.
That never happens.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and congratulations. It was a significant round, and this gives you now further runway that you can kind of focus on your product roadmap or acquiring more customers, or what are your, tell me about what's the road ahead look like then, now that you've got that money in the bank.
Yeah. So on the product side, we have the 2 existing products, so the financial management and the funding.
Yes.
We actually won a grant from USDA to build out a 3rd product, which is an on-farm data collection tool.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of great farm management software out there, but the bottleneck is always getting the farmer to type in the data.
Yes.
And so what we built is a voice-to-text app where they can narrate what they're doing, and it'll take that data and structure it, and then put it into front end, and hopefully, eventually we'll integrate with a bunch of these other software.
That makes a whole load of sense. I think, that people can just can put the input like that, and they could do that when they're walking back from the tractor into the farm or whatever.
Yep.
And I should give a shameless plug for Keeper Solutions, because I know that you won the Innovation Challenge in FinTech South in 2024.
Yes.
And that we awarded you a prize of a design sprint.
Yes.
And then we had a really fantastic engagement with you, with the product designers and some of our technical people. So was that, did that, I think it was on your MVP that you focused the design, and that you've got that up and running now?
Yes. So our MVP was basically like cobbling together, some Python code and some Google Sheets, and there was not really front end.
Yes.
And so y'all helped us put together what the true front end could look like.
Yes.
And so when we started the fundraise, we had a clickable prototype that we could show investors.
Right.
We started to build it over the course of the fundraise. Of course, we didn't finish it, but we made really good progress on it. And so, but as it's just so much easier to raise off of like, here's what it's going to look like versus like, hey, use your imagination.
Yeah. And there's actual customers here. We're booking revenue, and so it's a much stronger story. But you'd really invested so much of your time, your efforts, and your smarts to get to that point. But it's great then that you were able to not get stuck in the 16-month seed round. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. And so, in your mind, then we hear all this hype about AI, but it does sound like a lot of the activities, once you have that data in there and a process for it getting in place, that you see agents filling forms or crafting applications or various other things, so that there's going to be more AI coming into play, I would imagine, in the days and months ahead.
Yeah. And I would say, in addition to just more AI, it's like the AI will be able to handle more steps of the workflow. Yeah. And of course, there's always going to be human in the loop verifying. I think we're pretty far away from like AI being able to do stuff end to end, but AI being able to handle more pieces of it.
Yes.
So we test a lot of stuff today, and there's for a lot of our use cases, like the AI is like 50 to 60% accurate.
Yeah.
And there are parts of the product where 50 to 60% accurate actually does save the human a lot of time. And so that works.
Fine, but
And then there's other parts where it's like, this many errors just isn't worth it at this point. Like, let's put this back on the shelf until maybe the next generation of models come out, and then we'll try again.
Yeah.
Or we have more data, or
yeah, exactly. And I think that having that human focus on to the farmers, the technology there doesn't really matter as long as they can get done what they need done.
Exactly.
And that you can worry about that, and maybe that there is some complexity in the background.
Yeah.
But that it makes things much more straightforward for the user, and there's value in that.
Yeah. And then the of course the humans on our team, a big part of their job is that farmer relationship.
Yeah.
And just, the farmer really values knowing, like, hey, if I just need to call someone at Good Agriculture will pick up. Like, I have a person and not just a bot to deal with.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Again, human in the loop there when you need them.
Exactly.
Very good. So tell me, what are the, say in the year ahead, in the next 2 years, what's the plan?
Yeah. So we do still have a lot of stuff on the product roadmap to knock out. We know we need to hit certain unit profitability thresholds to kind of be a true technology company long term. And so we're making really good progress against that, but we got a lot of stuff to build still. And then on the other side, on the customer acquisition side, now that like the marketing team has a budget, we've got some advisors we're excited about who can help with the partner sales, like how do we meet more banks and folks like that. So it's just really about scale. Like we've proven that there's a need here. We know what a solution could look like. How do we take it from 50 to 100 farmers to like 500 to 1,000 farmers?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Eventually there's 2 million farms just in the U.S., so the market's just huge here.
Yeah, exactly. And it would seem that the things that you're learning to get to this point can, those learnings can be applied, and that with technology and humans, that you're looking at massive scalability coming into play in a way that hadn't been there earlier on, but wasn't needed earlier on either, right? Because you just needed 100 or 200 farmers to prove the concept, but that so it looks like an exciting time ahead then, that you can go from here to the next level and maybe a few levels beyond it.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, that's very exciting, and I'll be keeping an eye on how that journey is going. And I wish you the very best with it. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, even though we're a weird flavor of fintech for sure.
I think like we were talking about this yesterday with we were having a round table, and that actually really that fintech, that it's really being embedded and going. It's everywhere. Any place where payments are needed, or accounting is needed, or lending is needed, that it's, so I think it's kind of being submerged into all the industries. So so great.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. All right.